No, what I think is the most interesting version of that is like, I checked this band out live, right? So now I like their records. And my buddy, who agrees with me on everything, he listened to their records because I was like, dude, check this band out. I saw them live. They're awesome. And he listened to the records and he's like, they're meh. But it's like because I got introduced to them live, I'm down with the records.
Right,
you see what I'm saying?
Because you felt the energy.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
So I like bought in, and that's how
I think there's probably a couple
I think
bands.
that's how a lot of old bands made most fans. Like Metallica, like Motley Crue.
I think there's a lot of
what they did
a lot of
was
truth
live.
to that. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's some bands I've seen live, and I listened to the album. I'm like, no, man, the experience was amazing, and I just loved how it felt, and
yeah, and then same thing. There's bands that like, well, I fell in love with them on record, so even though they're not as good live, I'm okay with that. But everybody who discovers them live, they're like, they suck, and it's like, well, yeah, they're not the greatest live band, but like, once you're a fan, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So like, once you're a fan, I think you like compensate or forgive. You're a lot more forgiving once you're a real fan of something or someone. Like you forgive all the flaws and the rough
right because you're already into them, and
it's interesting what avenue you discover them, how you become that fan.
Yeah. Well, and then there's other avenues. So like I've had friends who aren't into metal, just not into metal, not even hard rock, and they're just like bubblegum and Top 40 and NSYNC and stuff like that. And I invite them out to a show, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, just come out. And I've got some friends that still aren't metal fans, but they love coming out to the shows because they're like, I don't know what it is, but every time I hang out with you guys, I have so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm still not into the music, but I actually enjoy the music when I'm there.
Yeah.
Because I know what's going to happen. I know we're going to have a good time.
Yep.
So that is some of the best compliments, because they're, well, I guess you take it either way. They're there because you're good people and they like what you're doing and they respect the community of metalheads and stuff.
Well, it's either way, it's a positive, because if they're going to come and have a good time, there's a very high probability they're going to bring somebody who's also going to have a good time.
Yep.
And